I must say that today is one of the happiest days in my life when I am putting on, or I have been given to wear this celebrated cap, which is the quintessential symbol of Mithila culture. This whole campaign of Paag Bachao, or Save the Mithila culture, because the Paag symbolizes Mithila culture essentially. The campaign is actually iconized by the symbol, or by the Paag. But the idea behind the campaign is to revive the cultural awareness about one of the richest cultures that India has had. A culture which was represented by Vidyapati, the greatest of the poets that India has produced, one of the greatest. Actually, the problem nowadays is that the younger generation in particular is drifting away from this cultural awareness towards a kind of disinterest in culture. And this campaign is actually directed towards that disinterest, to wipe out that interest and to create a new, vibrant revival of that culture, which has been one of the richest cultures, as I said. So I support this whole campaign because I do not think, or I do not consider it to be a regional or a localized kind of campaign to highlight localized values or regional values. Actually, I see it as the beginning of a realization of how important culture is, because culture actually is born in local environments only, but it grows and spreads far and wide as Mithila culture has. The campaign actually aims at drawing the attention of all those people who form the diaspora of Mithila across the world, and to make them aware of their values, which is iconized or symbolized by this Paag, which I am very, very fortunate to wear today, given to me by my very dear Birbal Jhaji, who was once my student, but who is now a great name in the teaching of English language. And what is more important, actually, now he has turned his attention towards the revival of Mithila culture. There is no kind of chauvinism, or there is no kind of any limited view or narrow-mindedness about this whole campaign. The whole campaign actually is not only limited to a revival of Mithila culture, but widely and broadly speaking, it is actually a revival of the awareness of culture itself, Indian culture, because Mithila represents Indian culture in essence. We have always looked at the cap as an essential headwear for people. Because you see, people in India live in different climatic conditions, and they need something to protect their head. The farmers also have a kind of hat which they wear, woven of straw. In China, you'll see, even in India, people in the farming sector, in the villages, they also, or they put on some kind of what we call gamcha or something on their head. So to protect the head, the cap is basically meant to protect the head, as well as to signify some kind of awareness of your culture, your cultural values. So the cap is a very, very symbolic kind of thing. And in India, in different parts of India, you will find people wearing different kinds of caps. But this cap, which has now been taken over by the political parties, the red cap, the white cap, the black cap, there are so many kinds of caps being worn by political parties, but it is quite interesting to know that it originated with Gandhi. When he came back to India, and after the 1919 massacre in Amritsar, there was a Congress session, and in that Congress session, Gandhi was the first person to have worn this cap. And since that time, this cap became known as the Gandhi cap and was taken over by Congress as a symbol of its identity.
Great.
So all these things, particularly this cap, now you can see how many political parties are misusing the symbolism of the cap. But in Congress, it stood for nationalism. That I want the younger generation to remember is that their parents, their ancestors were also young at a time. And they have preserved certain values of which or about which the present younger generation is gradually becoming unaware. Therefore, the message to the young generation is that as you look forward to the future, you must also look backward to your past. And you have to bring the past and the future into a kind of equilibrium, which I will call a kind of cultural equilibrium. There should be modernization of your culture, your cultural values. They should be slowly modified and modernized, but the essence of that culture should remain and should be valued. That is the message that I want the younger generation to remember.